Hello, this is Jason P. Wilson Zero in X-Force, and this is my Marvel comic pull list for the first part of the new year. Similar to my last posting, which was the last half of the last year, this is a posting for the first batch of comics to come out this first part of the new year. Now, this is all the comics that came out in January all the way up to current. Today is the 20th. And it is a Friday, and I picked up my comics on Wednesday. I read them all. I'm all caught up, and I'm going to post all of them in 3 postings. I'm going to do a Marvel, I'm going to do a DC, and then a little bit different, I'm going to do an Image and an Independent, along with the limited runs, both from Marvel and DC, in a separate posting. So first up here, this is the part where I usually show one comic at a time. Also, to be a little different, I'm going to do 2 at a time, usually with themes that connect. So, first up here for my Marvel is Avenging Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man. Now let's go ahead and start with Avenging Spider-Man number 3. This has been a really great book for me. It's a lot of fun. It is a team-up book, which personally I have not read one since The Brave and the Bold, which I really loved. And once that ended, I didn't have any team-up books, and I didn't really see any that were books that I wanted to read. So when I heard that Avenging Spider-Man was going to be coming out with a team-up book, I was pretty excited. And once I started seeing the artwork for it, I was really into it. So when number 1 came out, I was on board, picked it up, loved it. And the first 2 issues were great. Here with number 3, it continues to be great. Again, I can't wait to see what they do next. I've really been enjoying this team up featuring the Red Hulk. The artwork is really beautiful and fun, and the story itself isn't a deep book, but usually if you want to read a deep Spider-Man book, you get Amazing Spider-Man or Ultimate Spider-Man. But if you want a light book with Spider-Man in it, usually you get some kind of like spin-off with Spider-Man in it. So this is nice to have a fun book with Spider-Man that isn't too deep, that you can just pick up and have fun with, and have it being dedicated to team-ups. That's great. And Avenging Spider-Man for me was a great flavor of Spider-Man that I was really missing. And now with 3 issues in, it's definitely on top of my list of some of my favorite Marvel books. And next up here, Ultimate Spider-Man number 6. Now, to be honest with you guys, I had dropped this book only because I thought, I should only have one dedicated Spider-Man book. It was really tough. So I dropped Amazing, and I dropped this one a couple issues after that. But when this issue came out, I saw it on the stack, and I just, I couldn't. This one, as well as Uncanny X-Men, I dropped those, but ended up picking them up and putting them right back on my saver. I usually don't like to backpedal like that. Once I cut a book, I like to keep it off and just, keep on reading other books, and eventually I won't want to pick those up anymore. But, Ultimate Comics Spider-Man was a really nice surprise to me. I really enjoyed this new character. This character that I didn't think I was going to be invested in because I was so invested in Peter Parker for Ultimate Spider-Man. But as it's a true testament to Bendis' writing, I am really invested in this character to the point where I just could not drop the book. I must have this in my pull list. And number 6 was a great issue, and I'm really glad that I decided to go ahead and keep this book. It's a really great character study book. It's not the fastest paced book, but for me, if I have this and Avenging Spider-Man, it's nice. I have the seriousness and the drawn out storyline with Bendis here in Ultimate, yet I have the fun Peter Parker Spider-Man book here with Avenging. Now, unfortunately, that does push out Amazing Spider-Man, which is always a great book, but, you have to make cuts sometimes, and that was a choice I had to make. But these 2 books are great, and they definitely are staying in my saver. Both books are definitely strongly recommended. Now, I do want to show this book as well. This was a book I decided to go ahead and take a chance on. A lot of people really liked it. Some of my favorites, online reviewers, liked this. And one of my favorite ones posted this as his pick of the week. And this was his last posting. So I saw it when it came out. And that is Scarlet Spider #1. I saw it and I almost picked it up. I said, no. Resist any new comics. Just keep on doing what you're doing. And so I thought, okay. Then I saw the reviews and I thought, oh, you know what? I should at least read issue #1. So when I went in to pick up my comics on Wednesday, I went ahead and picked this up. And I have to say, I really did enjoy it. I think Yost is doing a really good job here with this new direction for Scarlet Spider. I personally was never a big Scarlet Spider fan. I wasn't really into his storyline very well. I thought it was okay. And I never liked his costume. I thought it was dumb. I hated the red outfit with the blue hoodie. Though I thought his character in general had potential, it just wasn't being used correctly. That's the way I saw it. I liked that he was basically Peter Parker, who never had the, the really good parents that brought him up well and allowed him to be a very responsible, good person. Basically, this guy had none of that. He had a lot of things to be angry about, and he took it out on other people with his spider powers. Also, he didn't think he was going to be living very long, so that was another reason for him to be a bad guy. Now that he is living longer now, he has a full life, it's kind of cool that he's recognizing that, and he's kind of seeing, hey, maybe there's more to life than what I've been doing. So I do like that. I think it's a real cool direction for this character, and I definitely would recommend people picking this up. I don't know if I'm going to be putting it in my saver. I just have so many other great comics. And the cool thing of being a comic fan right now is there are a lot of great comic books. So you can really pick and choose and really get the cream of the crop, the very best that both DC, Marvel, and Independents have to offer. Because it's really that good out there. It's a deep bench for all the comic book companies. They have a lot to offer and a lot of really good books. The exciting thing, though, is there are a lot of new books, a lot of really good new books. Avenging Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider, and both DC and Marvel have been doing a really good job with their new books. So there's a lot to choose from, but if you do choose Scarlet Spider, I can see why. It's a good book. Alright, next up here is my X-Force books. Now, these two books are 19.1 and 20, so you would figure they would have a lot in common. Not so much. They really don't. Uncanny X-Force 19.1 and Uncanny X-Force number 20. I'll go ahead and start with 19.1. Okay. You would think that 19.1 would be a great jumping on point to be reading the Uncanny X-Force that everyone has been talking about, right? Not so much. This is really kind of an introduction book to the new comic book coming out called Apocalypse, and it's all about the Age of Apocalypse and those characters. Look, I really love that storyline in X-Force. I really like the Age of Apocalypse stuff that they did with X-Force. Some of my favorite comic book reading for the entire year. Great stuff and a great book. Now, after reading this, I'm not really sold on the new comic book Apocalypse. Cool characters? Yes. But this is like a place that you want to visit with your favorite characters, but you don't necessarily want to live there. You don't want to stay in this, this Age of Apocalypse always. So for that, I am not sold on picking up Apocalypse. And this is basically a zero issue to that. It has little to do with what's going on in the main storyline of Uncanny X-Force. So with that, it's probably my least enjoyed X-Force book that's come out, period. Of the last 20 issues, this is definitely my least favorite. It was okay at best. And even though I love this book, I can't strongly recommend it unless you're really wanting to read Apocalypse. if you have to read Apocalypse, it's what you really want, then go ahead and pick this up, because basically it's an introduction issue. But number 20 over here, that's the one that gets back to the main stuff of Uncanny X-Force. One of our favorite X-Force members. He's having his trial, and really good stuff here. Up to this point, you're invested in these characters, and this, be honest, this is a character when I first started reading that I was the least interested in. I really didn't know him that much, and I didn't really care to. But after reading all these issues, he's become a really cool member and someone I'm definitely interested in and invested in as a character to the book. So with this trial happening, it is really good writing and great artwork, and one of the better comics to come out with X-Force in the last few months. And that's saying a lot, because it's always one of the best books to come out, and definitely one of the best X books. So I would say skip number 19.1 unless you really want it in your collection, which I do. But it's a much needed issue if you're going to be reading Apocalypse. But if you just want to jump on the Uncanny X-Force, skip 19.1 and get number 20. It's a better jumping on point than the 19.1, which to me makes absolutely no sense. So great books, but very different. And next up here are my Uncanny X-Men. And these two are connected, as they should be. Number 4 and number 5. Though not the way you might think. To be honest, Uncanny X-Force, Uncanny X-Men number 4 is really kind of like a one-shot, but a really good one. It's set in the perspective of the enemy of the X-Men. You're seeing their perspective, its perspective, which is kind of cool. It's kind of refreshing. It's definitely a good one-shot, and for that reason alone, it is a good jumping on point, even though it's not a .1. Because it's a one-shot, and you're seeing through the perspective of the enemy, you get to see and you're introduced to, some of the X-Men in a very unique way. It was a really good read, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's definitely a one-shot-ish type issue, but when a writer can do that well, it's saying a lot. So I enjoyed this issue quite a bit. And Uncanny X-Men number 5, this is the new direction of what the storyline is going, and I really liked it. In fact, it's one of my favorite Uncanny X-Men to come out. I originally was dropping this book. I was making room for more of the books that connected to my favorite X book besides X-Force, and that's Wolverine and the X-Men, which is definitely the superior book of the two main books between Wolverine and the X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. It's definitely a better book. But Uncanny X-Men is definitely a good, strong book, and if you want to keep your pulse on both of the sides of what's going on in the X-Men, it's probably a must-read. I definitely am enjoying it a lot more now than I was at first. The first story arc, the first 3 issues, they were okay. They weren't great. They're just okay. But now with 4 and 5, actually I am enjoying it quite a bit more. There's a really cool moment here in number 5 between Colossus and his sister Magic, and I thought that was really cool, especially because those are 2 characters I've known since I was a kid. Uncanny X-Men and New Mutants were the first books to get me in the comics, to start collecting them anyway, along with Batman. And so, yeah, it was really cool to see these 2 interacting a lot more since the events of Second Coming. So, if you haven't been reading Uncanny X-Men yet, to be honest, you could skip the first 3, just start here with 4 and 5, and you'd probably be getting the best that the series so far has to offer. And next up here are some more X books, but from the other perspective. And now I should be having Uncanny. Excuse me. I should have Wolverine the X-Men #4, but I don't have it, and I haven't read it yet. And the only reason for that is my comic book store, because of all the comic stores have been getting a lot of damaged comics, mainly because their packaging shipped from locally here in California, that's where I am, to I believe Mississippi or somewhere around there. So whoever took over the shipping of the comics really sucks, and they keep on shipping boxes of comics that are damaged because they don't know how to do their job, I guess. And my comic store, every single week, they have comics that are majorly damaged, and they have to send them all back. And Wolverine and the X-Men #4 was one of those comics. So a lot of times I'm really delayed, or they basically have to pick the best one for the people that have savers and send everything else back. But for one of my favorite comic books, Wolverine and the X-Men #4, all of them are damaged. So I'm going to have to wait on that one. But for now, I have X-Men Legacy 260.1 and Wolverine and the X-Men, the limited series, first one, Alpha and Omega. We'll go ahead and start here with Regenesis X-Men Legacy 260.1. Now this was the one I was originally going to be reading instead of Uncanny X-Men. This is a companion book to Wolverine and the X-Men, and it's probably the main one that you should be getting if you want a companion book for that book. This is the head faculty, and it's kind of their perspective of what's going on in the school. You don't need to be reading this, but 260.1 is a great time to jump on if you want a second book to go along with your Wolverine and the X-Men. Is it as good as the main book? Of course not. It's not supposed to be. But it is a really nice companion book. The people that are focused on this team, the senior members of the faculty, they're some of my favorite X-Men characters. Some characters that I really haven't read in a long time. So getting them all in one book together is really cool. And after reading 260.1, it's definitely a book I want to stick with as long as they can keep this up. The artwork is good. The story is, like I said, it's good. But if you're reading it by itself, maybe not so much. But if you're reading it with Wolverine and the X-Men, it's quite good. You get to see their perspective, their training the kids, the problems that they have, the issues they have, the relationships they have. It's all here in X-Men Legacy. And 260.1 is the perfect jumping on point for this new direction to this book. Really good, and I would recommend it, especially to Wolverine fans of the new series. Over here to the right, though, Wolverine and the X-Men Alpha Omega is a little mixed bag. I was really excited when this was coming out. I really wanted to read this book, but it's hard not to compare this with the main book. The main book is so good that I'd recommend it to everybody, adults and kids alike. This book, it is essential reading if you're reading Wolverine and the X-Men, but it's just not quite on the same level as in quality. The main book is fun. The art style is absolutely great. It's a very humorous book. It's what kind of writing I love in Deadpool, except for it's with Wolverine and the X-Men. At the same time, it has a serious points, so it kind of has best of both worlds. Here with the Alpha Omega miniseries, you don't have really the humor at all at this point, and I don't think they're going to go that direction at all. At the same time, you don't have the great art style. The art style here, in comparison, is very flat. It's probably okay at best. It does have moments, but it's nothing that you would look forward to. The writing, on the other hand, is good enough that you really kind of must read this. It's about these two people in the Wolverine and the X-Men book, obviously Wolverine, and what's kind of becoming his school's nemesis here a little bit. They've been bumping heads since issue 1 of that series, and here it's basically come to look, we can't be bumping heads forever. Let's finish this. So this is a 1 of 5 that really focuses on that. So at this point, I would think it would be essential reading, because I'm sure they'll address it in the main book, but this kind of gives, I'm sure, is going to give you all the details. So it's not the best, but it's good enough that I would recommend it to Wolverine and X-Men fans. I definitely want to see what happens, and I am looking forward to seeing how this concludes. So these two books, they are recommended. Legacy, more strongly for a companion book, and the limited series, not as strong a recommendation, but definitely something you should be looking at. And last up here for my Marvel is two comics that do not relate, with the exception of they're both excellent books. Over here to the right is The Incredible Hulk #4, and to the left, the number 20 issue of X-23. Now, I do want to address a couple things. First off, if you're looking for an X book, and I've said this many times before, if you're looking for an X book, but you don't necessarily want it to be connected to all the stuff that's going on and all the other X books that are all connected, X-23 really is the book for you. I mean, it just is. It's a great character with X-23, one of my favorite characters in the X-Men books. It's her solo book. She's had it for 20 issues now. It's been a great X book to pick up if you just want to pick up a book that really isn't connected. I mean, they do mention some of the stuff that goes on, but it's really never the focus. The focus is always character-driven, and it's always X-23. Right now, they're doing something really cool, and that is focusing on Jubilee as well. Jubilee is a character that has had something happen recently, you know, with her turning into a vampire. And other than her popping up in other books, there's been rarely a focus at all about how she's dealing with it on her own comic book. So, with the exception of her having her own book, this is probably the second best thing. She's really been a focus a few times now in X-23, and now again with this new story arc, she's focused again with X-23. I think they make a good team because they're very similar. They're in very similar places. They're both characters that are in a place that they have to start choosing who they're going to be. So you have X-23, who's always been kind of a mindless killer, and now she's starting to become a woman. She's got to decide what kind of hero she's going to be, and that's what this series of books has really been focused on. Again, here with Jubilee, she's in the same situation. She's now a vampire. She's a completely different character than she was before, and now she has to choose what she's going to do, who she's going to be for the upcoming books with her in it. What kind of hero is she going to be? She's definitely at a crossroads. So them together makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, and it's written really well, and it's beautifully illustrated. Definitely a strong recommendation. And if you want a jumping on point for X-23, now's a perfect time. Pick up number 20. Over here with The Incredible Hulk #4. What can I say? Bruce Banner is crazy. He's making gamma creatures. He's separated from the Hulk. Hulk is his own identity now, his own individual. He wanted to be by himself, but he's being pulled by two different directions. He's being attacked. So now he's taking the fight to Banner, and obviously he's going to be fighting Banner's crazy and powerful creations. This has been a great surprise to me. One of the biggest surprises was how much I love it, and there's no exception here. It is great, great story writing, great art, and has become one of my favorite story arcs ever to come out with this title. And that's saying a lot, because I've read a lot of Incredible Hulks, and I've loved a lot of it, and it's been some of my favorite reading of all time has been Hulk books. And here, a fresh, fun, beautiful take, a completely fresh look on the characters. I cannot recommend this book enough. Even if you don't like Hulk books, I think if you like comic books, you will like this book. Definitely want to pick up the first 3 issues, though. You don't want to start here. And with that, those are my Marvel books. And I'm really curious, which of these books are you guys reading? Some of my favorite books? Are they some of your favorite books? Let me know. And with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.